picked up a 2x4 sheet of 1/8 inch hardboard for about $6 at a local big box home improvement store. Reviewing many methods online and looking at my tools, I decided I was going to cut the board with a knife and a straight edge. As you can see, I'm measuring 2 feet in and starting to cut. Wait, what? I need 4-foot long lanes for my modules. I caught this and now know which side will be facing out. Due to my inexact woodworking, I measured 1 inch longer for each board, and that meant 7 inches for one and 8 inches for the other. You'll also notice that I had some smaller pieces attached to the ends. Well, I forgot that ends are capped by 3/4 inch plywood, meaning an extra 1.5 inches on each. Also, this was the very first time I pulled the modules apart, which meant I needed to cut through the road bed. I decided to make bridge tracks for these modules, and I tested the removable track but never cut the road bed. The next thing I needed to contend with was the hole needed for the PCP on my NCE DCC system. Well, how am I going to get the exact placement? So I decided to grab something I could clearly see, crawled under the module, and painted it yellow. Next, I took the board out to my garage and started drilling some holes within the painted area. I used a saw blade to cut from hole to hole. The PCP still would not fit, so I cut some more, sanded some more, and eventually got it done. Using the same screws as I did for the fascia does not look as good as I thought it would. Great, another project for another day. I finished the job by buying caulk and a caulking gun for the first time. I glued and screwed the fascia in place. I'm left with some overhang on each outside edge, and the right side module has some of the hardboard overhanging the left module. Well, I've been working on some of the structures, and I have plenty of rolling stock for my needs. And while going through the fascia edition, it came to my attention that my NCE Power Cab stopped working, so no running trains for a while. How to fill my time? Why don't I work on some scenery? I've done roads using Woodland Scenics products for some time, so I'm trying something new. Let me say here that I apologize once again for the camera work. While it was half above the camera view, you'll still be able to see my full method. As you know, if you have seen my earlier updates, I was testing out methods of adding snow. Since this is loosely based on a northern Minnesota town, it would not be complete without snow. I also wanted to realistically model snow with roads, so it was not going to be pure white. One of the methods I tried was using tile grout, and it's a great consistency for sanded and salted roads. A YouTube video caught my eye where the method for creating the road was tile grout, so here you'll see my first application and test area. If it works, I'll continue to build up the road and others throughout the module. Using a grout that's already mixed in color to a light gray, I started adding it to the road surface. I only need a thin layer, and any that goes over the lines can be sanded down and also covered by ground cover. Notice the streaks coming from the spatula. This is because the grout in such small amounts quickly starts drying. I was able to wipe it down and eventually get even strokes over the grout. For the next step, I did some sanding with the sanding block. While the up-close shots show a porous surface, it really does look like a road surface and is quite smooth. The tools I use to test line striping and detailing are shown here, but generally tapes for lines, something to add white and yellow lines, and a wash to add some oil stains. I picked up a taping method from another YouTube channel that would have helped me paint the interior of the ITLA build I recently did. I set the outside of the first yellow line, used 2mm tape for where the painted yellow line will go, then I added a piece of 1mm tape to separate the painted lines. Next, I added a piece of the 2mm tape, then finished with another piece of tape for the outside painted line. I lifted the 2mm strips to expose the area where the lines will go. This ensures that they are at least uniform in width. I then colored the lines. I thought it was going to be too bright, but it looked good when I removed the tape. Also, I can weather the roads later to dull down anything too bright. Finally, I used a pipette and an India ink alcohol mix for the oil spots. I can finish the roads with further weathering when I have them fully made and lined.